Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to my latest video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this pendant. I've added a list of what you'll need below in the description section of this video. Also, I've added links to my Facebook page and my Etsy shop, should any of you be interested in seeing my other tutorials on there. Please quote my name when sharing your work made from my tutorials. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. To make this pendant, you'll need 0.8mm wire, that's 20 gram round wire, and I'm using 0.315mm weaving wire, that's 28 gram. I've cut 6 pieces. These are about 10 inches, 25 centimetres each. And my weaving wire, I've wove about 500 centimetres on there, but you won't need that much. You'll need about 300 centimetres of weaving wire. My cabochon, this little oval labradorite cabochon I'll be using, is about 18mm by 14mm. You can use any stone this kind of size. Also, I'll be using some little seed beads. These are hematite and they're about 2mm. You need about 10 or 12 of those. I'll be using my round nose pliers, wire cutters, wire straighteners and my pliers. You don't necessarily need wire straighteners, you can use your fingers, but I love these, so I'll be using these. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start right in the middle of my wires. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bunch up all the wires together like this. Take your weaving wire and wrap around that about 5 times. Now what we're going to do, after the weaving wire, we're going to separate it so we've got 3 wires on each side. Kind of flatten these out a little bit. I'm going to go around this just a few times. Separating my wires out. So I've got 3 at the back and 3 at the front. I've got them all sat next to each other now. And take my weaving wire and just secure it and that back wire a few times. I'll trim that. Now I'm going to really flatten these down a bit. Like so. I'm going to secure this wire here. Just picking a wire at random, just so it doesn't go anywhere. That'll do for now, that'll keep it in place. So we're going to get our stone in there straight away. So we'll need a flat surface. I'm going to do, holding the stone and the wire quite flat, gently curve your wires around the stone so you can't see what I'm doing. Like that. And we want it to wrap entirely around the stone, like so. Like that. And I'm going to shape the top with my thumb. I'm going to guess this side a little bit. So we've got our stone trapped in this shape. Okay. I'm just going to bend these a little more so I've got a nice angle on the top of them. It's a bit fiddly because they're only attached by that single wrap at the bottom. So far, that's what we've got. So now I'm going to take my weaving wire. Just going to add a few wraps to the sides to keep it all nice and tidy. Make sure your wires don't cross over each other. I'm going to go right in the middle. Just wrap about 5 times around there. I'm going to trim that so the wire finishes at the back. And this one. I'm going to do that for the other side. So I've done the other side as well. Just be careful not to let the wires cross over each other. Try my stone again. Right, now I'm going to secure the top piece. Weaving wire. Leaving a little length. I'm going to wrap around about 5 times. It's a bit fiddly to hold. It wants to move so much because there's not much strength to it yet, but it will stay how we want it. So these wires separate out like we did the bottom, and I'm going to secure this around this back one for now, just a couple of times. And this one, I'm going to go through the middle just so it holds it in place. Do that about 3 times. And I'll snip that so it finishes on the back. So now we want to secure the stone in place. So put your stone into the place, and it isn't going to want to stay there at all. It's going to be really fiddly. Turn to the back. What you want to do is just pull those wires over a little, just to and hold it in place just a little, and we'll get the pliers in there in a minute. And then take your pliers. You're going to just pull the wire in so it's going to hold that stone in place. Something like that. Keep it in, stop it falling out the back. And now try and stop it falling out the front. Pull the front wire forward a little bit. Just wide enough to get your pliers in. And then I'm going to just grab the wire at the bottom. So it looks a bit tidier than the back. The same for the top. I've not done anything like this on a video before, so I'm hoping it's going to look like I plan it is going to look. So, got it held at the front and the back so it won't escape. So now what I'm going to do is, it's a kind of veil, sort of. Take these 3 wires, making sure that they're not crossed over each other. I'll bend them away at the base a little. And I want them all facing forward, so I'm going to kind of bend them like that. I need all my wires to be facing forward. You want a little gap in the middle, but not too much. What I'm going to do on this last outer wire here, I'm just going to coil around this a few times, because I want the wire. I'm going to start about here, so I'm just going to coil this back wire a little bit to get me into place where I need to be. A few more. I should do it. Now I'm going to have to just cut my bobbin free. Leaving a good length of wire. And I'm going to need my seed beads. Right, so this is the repeat that we'll be doing. I'm going to take the wire over to the middle. We're going to go around that wire. And then we're going to go through the middle again and go around 2 wires. Into the middle again and go around all 3. Into the middle again and go around the 2. And then go around the 1. And then what I'm going to do, I want my wires to be a little bit closer together than that. Then what I'm going to do is put a seed bead on there so it sits between. So it sits in the gap in the middle there. And now we're going to do the opposite of what we just did on that wire. So first, go around the closest wire like that. And we want to go around the 2. Then around all 3 wires. And around 2, then around the bottom wire, then I'm going to put another seed bead on and repeat that for about 10 or 12 beads. So you repeat that weave along there. Add another seed bead. I'll do another repeat with you. Fiddly amounts of stuck in my tools. Okay. Go around a single wire. Go underneath the wire so that they sit next to each other. And I'm going to go around 2 wires. And around 3. And around 2 wires again. Around a single wire. I'm going to add another seed bead. I think I'm going to go under that wire so that they always sit next to each other. And I'll go around 2 wires, around all 3, around the 2, and then around that bottom wire. So you need to keep repeating this till you got about 10 or 12 beads sat in the middle there. Okay, I'll see you when I've done mine. So that's what it should look like once you've used up your beads. I've done 11. I'm going to finish this wire by just wrapping it a few times around that last wire. I'm going to trim that. So that's what we've got so far. And I'm going to leave this now. Go and start on this end. So what we need to do is spread all these wires out. You can see what we've got. You can lose that now. So we're ready to start weaving on these top wires. So I'm going to start with these 2 wires. And I'm going to go 3 times around the bottom wire just to secure it in there. Okay, I'm just going to go twice around there, and then I'm going to go twice around bottom wire. I'm going to repeat that twice around the 2 wires, twice around the bottom wire. I'm going to repeat that about 10 or 12 times. So I've done about 14 repeats there. Trim that little tail off. What I'm going to do is flatten that down. I'm going to curve this over. When you're doing this, if you support it with both fingers, it kind of makes it a bit easier to lean onto your back finger while you bend the wire around with your front finger. So I've got this nice shape. So 14 repeats brings it to level with the neckline there. So if you're using a larger stone, or if you want more of a curve on this, you need to adjust the amount of repeats just so you finish off about there. Now take the next wire. I'm going to curve this one around to follow the weave. So it sits next to it like that. I'm going to add that into the weave now, so we'll continue now on 3 wires. I'll go under this one, and I'll go a couple of times around that bottom wire. Coming up in between the bottom 2 wires. Then I'm just going to wrap around the middle wire about 5 times. Like that. Now I'm going to wrap around the top 2 wires. like that. And then carry on wrapping around the middle wire another 5 times. And keep repeating that. So now I'm going to go around the bottom 2 twice. Pull the wire up between the bottom 2 wires. So we need to do enough repeats of this for a weave to follow the stone to here. So depending on the size of your stone, you do the amount of weaves you need to get round to here. Okay, so I've done about 5 repeats. So my weave is long enough to reach around the stone. You just keep compressing your weave as well as you go, pushing it together to keep it nice and tidy. So I'm going to do with this now, so I'm going to curve it around the stone. Like so. I'm going to add another repeat there, just so it reaches a bit further to wrap around the back here. So once you've curved your weave around the stone, we're going to take all 3 wires, keeping them next to each other, around to the back. Like that. So next, in fact I'm going to cut that off. No, I'll leave it on. Talking to myself. So go back up to our 3 wires at the top. Leave that one there for now. So taking these 2 wires, I'm going to bring them down. I'm going to scoop them around. All the way around. This. And then I'm going to take this wire to follow. So I'm going to bend that one around as well. And I want it to follow those 2, like so. So when they all reach the edge of the stone, put them all sat nice next to each other, don't let them cross over each other. Take them around to the back. Like that. That's what we've got so far. Right, so what I'm going to do now, take these wires that went to the back, bring them underneath the ears. I'm going to bend them around to the front. I don't want them to cross over each other. So they're sat next to each other, like that. I'm going to follow them with these. we've got the 6 wires going all across the front next to each other. So I've spread my wires out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing there. Take the weaving wire around to the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weave straight up these wires just to hold it all together and to get my weaving wire where I want it to be. So I'll go around that bottom wire. And I'll go around the next one. And I'll go around the next wire. And the next one. This weave isn't important, it's just securing them all together a little bit. Trying to keep it tidy at the same time. Like that. So with these top 2 wires, I'm going to scoop them up like this, and I'm going to coil around the bottom one. I'm going to keep coiling around the bottom one until I reach the middle of this curve. And I'm going to wrap around both wires a couple of times. And I'm going to continue wrapping around this bottom wire. Really, from this point on, you can be as decorative as you like. You could really make it your own by doing whatever you want with these wires now to finish it off. You just need to decorate over our long bail here. It's not really a bail. I got the idea from making a bail like that, so I've always referred to it as a bail, though it isn't. So continue to coil on this wire. I'm just going to finish these 2 wires here. Curl them in opposite directions. You can do what you like with them, really. So I'm curling one way, and one the other. What I will do, so we need to secure this. I'm just freeing my bobbin from my weaving wire. We need to secure this to this back piece. So we need to take this wire through between the back wires. And then over the front, wrap around that wire a few times. I'll just hold it down in place. Trim that weaving wire there. To finish off these 2 wires, I'm going to cut it about there. And this one about there. I'm using my round nose pliers. Put a little curl in that. And the other one the other way. Next 2 wires, I'm going to do curve it around. Just strip it over to the back. So turn to the back, and I'm going to finish these wires by just posting them under here, make a little gap. Stuck there. So I'm going to fix these and then I'll come back. Right, so I've pulled them through, and it is so tricky working from behind the camera. So what I'm going to do now is trim them a little bit shorter, I think. I'm going to curve them over. And grip onto that wire. That secures them in place. Got so far. So these last 2, take my weaving wire. And I'm going to coil the bottom wire. I'm going to keep adding coils to this wire. And every like 20 coils or something like that, I'm going to wrap around both just to hold them together. So that's 20 coils, and then I shall wrap around the two. And a few more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shape this one to follow that one a little bit, and keep adding coils on there. So I'm going to curve this one here. I'm going to secure it to the back. I need to free my bobbin. So I think I'm going to go around both wires to hold them together here. Because I want them to be here, so that's where I'm going to secure it to the back. I'm going to post it through the wires there. And then back through the next wire. So I've gone around the top wire, go on that one again, coming over the bottom wire, and I'll go around that one again, over, can you see that? Over the top wire. Go around that one again. I'll go over the bottom wire, around that wire again, over the top wire, around it again, over the bottom wire. Keep doing this for as long as it takes to get my weave how I want it. I'm just going to finish off these two wires in curls as well. A little bit more. The weather has really changed and so my video is looking really dark at the moment. think I'm going to finish off by doing a few more wraps around this top one. And I shall cut this one and curl it this way, this one and curl it this way. So I need to secure this again into that, around that back wire. I'm going to secure this by going through the back around that wire. Oh, come on. Try again. Hold it in place. Around again. And I'm going to go underneath this wire. A few more coils on there. To do. Trim that weaving wire. And I need to trim this weaving wire as well. Fiddly one. So now I'm going to cut these two and finish them off. This one about as far. And this one about there. With my round nose pliers, to curl these. And the top one. The other direction. So that's what we've got so far. Looking at a jump ring. Jump ring needs to be big enough to fit all of those wires through. I'm going to do thread it on there. I'm going to have my little join at the top because I'm going to add this on after. So you get it in place where you want it to be. I'm going to curl these wires around the jump ring on both sides, a bit fiddly doing it behind the camera. I'm going to wrap them around again so that they're securely fitted onto that jump ring. Bit tricky to do them all together, you could do them one at a time. I'm going to do the same with this side. So what I've done, I've taken 3 wires from one side, wrapped it around this side, and 3 wires from this side, and just wrapped it once around, then come back around again, so it's secure onto that jump ring. I'm going to trim these wires quite close to the ring and then just flatten them down with the pliers. And I should do the same with this side. Like this. Trim them off, just cut them off close to the tops and press them down. So now I'm just going to add my little triple jump ring into the top here. And that's where my chain will go through. And we're done. Hope you found this tutorial easy to follow. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.